There is this one specific moment in life. It usually happens on a gray Tuesday morning. You are sitting in the office, your boss is droning on about some nonsense regarding budget cuts, while inflation is emptying your grocery cart, and you ask yourself, is this really the rest of my life? You look at your bank account and feel like you are shoveling sand into a bottomless pit. Your fiat money is melting like ice in the sun. You save, you skip the expensive car. You buy on sale. And still, prices keep running away from you. The real estate market? A bad joke. Retirement? You stopped believing in that a long time ago. But as a Bitcoiner, you are feverishly waiting for a completely different moment, namely the day when it finally pays off. Your portfolio makes more gains in a single day than your colleague makes in 3 months' salary. That is not magic. That is not gambling either. That is the revenge of mathematics against inflation. There are 3 very specific limits regarding your Bitcoin wealth. As soon as you cross these boundaries, your wealth building switches from crawl mode to rocket propulsion. Most people give up shortly before the first limit because they cannot handle the volatility or think they are too late. Let us get real. When you think of Bitcoin wealth, what do you see? A 22-year-old lucky shot who bought for $5 in 2011 and now drives a Lamborghini? Forget that. That is the past. We are talking about reproducible success for people entering now at $89,000 who still want their freedom. The problem is our brain. Our brain loves safety and constant numbers. If you have $1,000 in your account, you want there to still be $1,000 there tomorrow. But with Bitcoin, the value fluctuates. That scares us. Yet exactly this volatility is the price you pay for the performance. In the beginning, it is like trying to jump onto a moving express train. The price runs away, you can barely keep up. You buy sats, the price drops, you feel stupid. You buy, the price rises, you get annoyed that you did not buy more. But there are 3 points on this journey where you stop running after the train and start sitting in the driver's seat. The first ignition stage is the safe harbor. The 0.1 Bitcoin mark. 10 million Satoshis. At a price of nearly $90,000, even this fraction sounds challenging for many who are starting from zero. And that is exactly why so many throw in the towel. They say I cannot afford a whole Bitcoin anyway, so why bother? I would rather buy some shitcoin that I can own millions of. That is the mistake that keeps you poor. Let us talk about this first hurdle. The first 10 million Satoshis. 0.1 Bitcoin. Why is it so hard? Imagine you are disciplined. You put $1,000 into Bitcoin every month. That is a lot of money. You do this for almost a year to reach that 0.1 mark. In that year, the Bitcoin price might double from $45,000 to $90,000. Your portfolio looks good, but your goal, the 0.1 stake, moves into the distance. You feel like you will never arrive. You live frugally, you buy Bitcoin like a man possessed. The price crashes by 30%, your stomach turns. All the media scream Bitcoin is dead. You doubt. You think, seriously? I sacrificed everything for this? Just for it to go down again? Here is the brutal truth. In this phase up to the first 0.1 Bitcoin, you are the slave of the fiat system. You are trading your valuable lifetime for dollars that are worth less every day just to secure a foothold. It is an uphill battle. But when you crack the 0.1 Bitcoin mark, something psychological happens. You are now mathematically ahead of 90% of the world's population. Most people will never own 0.1 Bitcoin. You have secured your lifeboat. From here on, your thinking changes. You stop calculating in if I get rich and start calculating in when the world adopts this. You have a stake. And that is the moment you become mentally free. But that is just the warm-up. If you think the road to the second ignition stage is just as hard, then you have not understood the power of scarcity. You needed discipline for the first 0.1. Now you need vision. The second ignition stage is at 0.21 Bitcoin. Why 0.21? This number is not arbitrary. It is the golden ticket. The total supply of Bitcoin is capped at 21 million coins. If you own 0.21 BTC, you own exactly 1/100 millionth of the entire supply that will ever exist. At a price of $89,000, that is roughly $19,000 in assets. That sounds achievable, but do not underestimate what it means. You have secured a spot in the 21 million club by proxy. If the world's wealth flows into Bitcoin, holding 0.21 BTC guarantees that you cannot be diluted. Look, if you have 0.21 Bitcoin and we experience a normal bull run where Bitcoin doubles, your net worth jumps by almost $20,000. That is a nice used car or a significant chunk of a down payment, generated purely by holding the hardest asset on Earth. This is the moment where the fear disappears. The fear of being left behind. You know that there are 8 billion people on Earth. and only enough Bitcoin for every person to hold roughly 0.002 BTC. You hold 100 times that average. You are an elite holder purely by mathematics. You no longer need a bank to validate your savings. You are your own hedge fund. But wait, we are not at the finish line yet. If you do not make the mistake of selling your Bitcoin for consumer junk now, then the third stage ignites. And this catapults you into a different reality. We are coming to the third ignition stage. The whole coiner. 1 Bitcoin. This was the old impossible dream, but for you, having climbed from 0.1 to 0.21, it is the ultimate target. 1 full Bitcoin. At today's rates, we are talking about $90,000. But think 5 or 10 years ahead. If Bitcoin becomes what gold is today, owning 1 single Bitcoin is equivalent to owning generational wealth. Do you understand what 1 Bitcoin means? Mathematically, you belong to the top 0.01% of humanity. There is not enough Bitcoin for every millionaire in the world to even hold half a Bitcoin. You have one. The whole thing. From here, the appreciation is an avalanche. If the Bitcoin price doubles, which historically it does every few years, then that is no longer just a nice bonus. That is $90,000 in profit. In a single cycle. That is more than most people earn in 2 years of hard labor. This is the salary replacement moment. Your money is not just working like an intern. Your money is now the CEO. At 1 Bitcoin, your asset appreciation starts to trump your labor income in good years. When your boss annoys you, you just smile. You know, 1 good month in the market and I have earned your annual salary. There are days when you check your wallet and it has fluctuated by the value of a mid-sized car. Up or down. But at 1 Bitcoin, you do not care. Because you know you have a piece of the pie that cannot be diluted. You possess 1 out of 21 million. Forever. We were raised to believe hard work equals money. When your wealth suddenly grows by 5-figure amounts without you working, it almost feels illegal. You feel like a system error. But you are not an error. You just left the system and chose the better money. Now I can already hear the skeptics typing in the comments. Yes, but Bitcoin is a bubble. What if it drops to $50,000? What if the government bans it? Good point. Who knows what will happen? But look at the alternative. Your money in the checking account is guaranteed to be worth significantly less every few years. That is not a danger, that is a certainty. And Bitcoin crashes? If you are still in the accumulation phase, meaning between 0.1 and 1.0 Bitcoin, then a crash is the best thing that can happen to you. I know everyone panics when red candles appear. But if you have not reached your whole coin goal yet, then a dip from 89,000 to 60,000 is not the end of the world. It is a summer sale for your freedom. You get more shares for your fiat money. The tourists sell in panic. The future whales buy more. Look, I know how it sounds. $89,000 for 1 Bitcoin. That seems expensive. The reality is that is nothing yet. The market cap of silver has risen by the entire market cap of Bitcoin in the last 3 months alone. We are still at the very beginning. And at 0.01 Bitcoin, you ask yourself if it is even worth it. At 0.1 Bitcoin, you doubt because the price is dropping. But when you crack 0.21 and later the 1.0, you gain this sovereign calm. You have to decide. Do you want to keep running in the fiat hamster wheel where you have to run faster every year just to stay in the same place? Or do you want to hitch yourself to the hardest money in human history? No one can take this path for you. No bank advisor will advise you to buy Bitcoin. He does not earn anything from it. You are the only one who can save you. The math does not lie. 0.1 Bitcoin is the test of your willpower. 0.21 Bitcoin is the test of your conviction. 1.0 Bitcoin is the proof that you beat the game and never have to work for money again. You have to start today, not tomorrow, whether it is $50 or $500, because Bitcoin will not wait for you. And if you want to know exactly how to free up cash in the first place, then watch this video next. There I will show you which expenses just are not worth it anymore in 2026, and how you can build your Bitcoin portfolio faster.